Hey everybody, welcome to J Stern Designs. For today's Quick Tip Tuesday, I want to continue working on the dress that I'm designing using my fitted shirt sloper to get the bodice pieces. And as you can see, I've already sewn my muslin, and I used a blue gingham mini check and a little polka dot fabric for my contrast fabric. And after sewing these things together, my immediate thought for this first dress is that I'm going to combine these two pieces. So instead of having a separate strap piece, which ended up looking like this, I'm going to incorporate it into one piece. And I'll show you how I'm going to combine those pieces in a minute. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draft the bottom portion of this dress, and I think just to test it and see how it's going, I'm going to make a tunic length top first. That way I don't need yards and yards of fabric for a long maxi skirt. And I'm also excited to use this vintage printed fabric I've had for a while. It's sort of got this cool print, so I'm going to use this to make my first sample of this top, which will later become my maxi dress. And what I'm going to do, now that I have this this done, you can see it kind of pulls away here. And if you were to look at the dress form like on the top looking straight down, you'd have hollows in here. Like the space above your bust kind of hollows out. So you want the fabric to conform to that. And I think if you're large busted like I am, the need for that is even greater because you've got a larger piece of fabric curving around a round shape, and then you need to go ahead and have it come back in and not gap. So I'm going to show you how to contour the edge of your pattern piece to get a nice smooth fit there. So that's what we're going to do today to the top pieces. I'm going to show you how to join the strap to the bodice if that's something you'd like to do. And so instead of having it be straps, it's all going to be one piece. So I'll make a piece to the shoulder seam, and then I'll have a back that's also connected. I'm going to connect that as well. So instead of it being a strappy sundress, it's going to be a sundress with one piece. So that's what we're going to do today. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing I want to do is join these pieces together. And you can see when I was drafting it, I dashed, this is the outline of the bottom edge of where the pattern piece is going to finish. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my stitching line on this piece to put it right back on. And you'll see it fits perfectly like that. And then I also have my seam allowance ready to go. We'll use this outer edge of the bodice. That will be my seam allowance to finish the edge of this piece. So I'm just going to tape these together and make it treated as one pattern piece now. I'm going to redraw in my center front line, so I have that. All right, so there's my pattern piece. And what I want to do now is I want to show you my muslin when I tried it on myself. And you can see on this outer edge, I pinned out the amount that was gapping away from me. And I mean, how many times have you worn these types of crisscross tops where you're constantly trying to either pin the center together or, keep pulling it back towards the middle? Part of the problem is you didn't have enough contouring in the garment. So see how I put those two pleats there? And if you try your muslin on, you can see where it's gapping away from you. Just pinch it out and I'll show you what to do with that. So I can see in my case, I pinned out 2/4 inch little pleats pretty close to where my center front is. Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to redraw my circle that I had that represented the bust mound. I'm just going to trace it off my original drafted piece just to get an idea of where my bust is. So I can see it's right here, right here. I'm not going to make the full circle. I just want an idea of where my bust shaping is. Okay, so here's my circle Okay, and the center of my circle would be where my apex is. So I'm just gonna measure across. All right, so this is my apex is right here. Okay, so the whole idea is you want to create, you want to take out this extra that gaps on the edge, but the way you take it out is you want to radiate it, you know, through the center of your apex. Okay, so just to remind ourselves where our dart was, I'm going to redraw it up to the apex, because when you contour, you have to let it out someplace. So let me show you what I mean by that. So let me just draw in, this is where my dart was originally. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure how far from the center front I need to do this adjustment. So it's about 2 inches from my center front where it overlaps. So from here to here. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a guide 2 inches away, like right here. And then I'm going to draw a second one. We'll just make them evenly spaced, 2 inches away right there. So these are the two areas that I need to take in a little bit of this fabric here so it doesn't gap away. So I'm going to draw them to my apex like this. Okay. So I'm going to pleat out some of the length here and some of the length here. So each one's a 1/4 inch. So let me start by making just 1/4 inch guidelines. Okay, so I've got 2. And I'll just draw them in so you can see what I mean. I'll use red so you can see them. I'm going to go like that. And like this. Like this. And like this. Okay, so this is the area I want to take in. But if I'm going to take it in somewhere, I'm going to have to let it back out someplace else. So the way I'm going to handle that is I'm actually going to slash one of my dart legs, my original dart legs, to create a hinge. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to just slash on my first pleat, and I'm just going to overlap it. And you'll notice what happens is it opens my dart a little bit. And that's okay, because I can have more fullness under my bust. You know, when I gather this in, I'll just gather it in a little bit more. Okay, so then the other thing is I need to do this other one. Get rid of it. Okay, so I've taken this in here. And you'll notice because I'm working on a diagonal edge, I have to then true this up. So I'm just going to take a little scrap of paper and I'm just going to straighten that back out. I'm going to add a little bit above my adjustments and take a little bit away below. Okay, and I can just darken that in with my curve. Okay, so see how that looks? And then I'll just use the reverse curve to just blend this back in here. Now I have this nice smooth edge. Actually, if I cut it away, you'll be able to see. All right, so there's my new pattern piece. And I've also created a little bit more of a dart, which I'm going to ease in and gather up. And it'll be a little bit more fullness under my bust, but I think that's going to actually work out well in terms of fitting. So we'll just gather it up that extra 3/4 of an inch here. I'm just going to trim a little off there, add a little there, smooth that out. All right, so that takes care of that problem of the contour. And the next thing I want to do is I want to just sort of recreate this shape that I have going on in the front. I want to add that to my back strap. So what I've done here is I've actually taped the piece back together where I had cut it off. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a curved shape over here that's just sort of follows the shape of the armhole. So I'm just going to kind of go like this. I think that's a better shape for what I'm looking for. So my whole strap will be And I think I'll curve it in here too. So let's have it be more of a, something like that. I'm just going to add my seam allowance. Okay, if you have any questions about any of this pattern work I did today, please post comments below or visit my blog at jsterndesigns.com. I haven't seen any pictures yet of anybody trying to work with a sloper to work on a dress, so if anybody's doing that, please email me some pictures at info@jsterndesigns.com. I'd love to see what you're doing, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on Thursday. I'm really excited because this week I have a lot of extra time because I'm not going to Rhode Island this week to teach, so I actually have Wednesday off. So I have lots of time to get all this stuff done. So have a great week until Thursday, and I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.